What up? What up? What up? Let me see if I can get Asmeret inside here. See what's going on here, buddy. Having some technical difficulties. So let me see. Let me see. What's up, guys? I'm just trying to get Asmeret in. Having some difficulties with the Zoom account. That's why I had to go live directly. Y'all looking at my Apple chart. Hey, what's up? What's up, Carlos? What's up, Terrence? Azzy, see if you can join or send me a request to join. I think you have to be on your desktop or your mobile phone. Okay. What's up, Trey? What's up, Chris? What's up? Jonah, how you doing? All right. All right, Asmeret, listen, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call you from Facebook and I'm going to see if they can hear you from there. Hold on. If they can hear you from there. Hold on.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's see if they can hear you. Could you turn the video off on
the sound? Yeah.
Right. So let me see if they can hear you now. Can y'all hear Asmeret? Asmeret, say something.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Keep talking, Asmeret.
Okay. Yeah. Taryn says I can hear. Trey says I can hear. Okay, brilliant.
Oh,
okay.
Perfect. See, I'm always hacking something, putting something together, getting it done. Can't be stopped.
Yep. When there's a will, there's a way, and it looks like the bad the bad luck of the crypto market has extended to us too. No one is escaping this week. But yeah, we're gonna get straight into it because we know.
Bad luck. You call that bad luck? Okay, but go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing, and I'm going to let you have your segment, and then we'll take a look at price. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I know you've got a lot to cover too.
No, I really don't. I mean, I've been saying the same thing for months now. So take as much time as you need. Do your thing.
Okay, cool. So, wow, it's a bloodbath, right, guys? It's been absolutely crazy over the last week or so. And I'm going to get straight into it. And I did check the price just before we went live. And it's absolute mayhem right now. In fact, I checked the top 100. The majority of them are in double-digit negative figures, and so I believe like the market capitalization right now has fallen something like $24 billion over the last 24 hours. And this is just on the back of the last 5 days. 5 days ago, we had Bitcoin significantly dropping and the rest of the crypto market sliding. It is at its lowest price level this year by far. And it's crazy, and we may see. I know Aking, you're going to be speaking on that, but it looks like we're going to be seeing it go down to 5,000. Get that tested. So I know we've been on this extended bear market. We've been seeing like sideways trading as well for a while. And know you've been talking about repeating yourself over and over again. When is it going to break out or break down? And know you've been making those calls. You've been super bearish and saying this is about to break down, not financial advice. So just to give you an idea, the last time it traded around the lower $5,000 range was October last year. And at that point, we saw a bull run follow. And I know there's been a lot of fear and frustration amongst investors. And some experts have been predicting this downward slide and that, you know, we have been on an extended bear market. It may go on for a while. And yes, the whole drama with Bitcoin Cash has unwittingly affected the rest of the cryptos, and I will get into that a bit further. And that's quite damaging. It's not just a case of the hash wars or a case of, you know, my Bitcoin Cash is better than you. It is a clash of the egos, but it has ramifications, and this is such a sensitive time for the space, for the crypto market. There's been so much talk of institutional investors priming, prepping, getting ready to come en masse, and we've been seeing that there's regulatory movements being made by the SEC already showing signs of crackdowns, no one left behind, exchanges, individuals, and this is something that we're going to see more of, not just with the SEC, but the worldwide regulators looking to formulate a globalized, unified plan. Now, what's happening with Bitcoin is crypto specific with the space itself. The drama playing out with Bitcoin Cash, maybe you're sick to death of hearing over the story about it right now, but there are layers to it. And if you guys know the history between the proponents of Bitcoin Cash, the leaders, you know that they come from a background, they've been involved with Bitcoin, early stage coins, and Bitcoin Cash. And so whatever they decide to do with Bitcoin, in order to get an upper hand with Bitcoin Cash, is going to affect the market one way or another, not just the potential liquidation of Bitcoin, but also the reputation of these leaders, the reputation not just of Bitcoin Cash, but investors as well as potential investors, retail and institutional, and it's coming at a critical time in the market. Now, I know Aking's going to speak on the TA part, but the fact that there's been reports saying, 6,000 is the hard floor, 6,000 is that level is going to hold, and now that they're calling 5,000 as the next level, and so on. Many predictions being made, very wild swings from $800 Bitcoin to $30,000 Bitcoin, all in different timescales. But it's just critical that you have individuals, very powerful individuals. Remember, this space, even with Bitcoin Cash, it's supposed to be the whole idea, the perception is that this is a decentralized space, and this is something that would help many people, many stakeholders. And the way they're moving, the way they're coming across now is typical of the elite, typical of big players, of whales, the type of behavior that we would see in the traditional markets, where you have, massive, you have major players, using the market as a game, as a football match, almost like, and we've seen what happens with billionaires when they start taking positions against each other and using their enormous resources and power and influence to move the markets. And sometimes there's no winners at the end of it. It's a duel to the death. There's literally blood being spilled. Now, this is, I don't know if this is an egotistical thing, if this, I'm not being sexist or anything, but if this is a testosterone fueled
Hey,
thing
easy,
in corporate.
easy. Wow,
Listen, yeah, we're
why we
gonna get
gotta
into
make it into all of that?
it. We're gonna get into it, but I'm gonna get into the nitty gritty too. But it's just crazy, the timing of the market. They need to be more, not financial advice, but you would think they would try and be on a collaborative approach, be more mindful if they're going to win long term, if they're going to expand, if they're going to have a drive adoption, further adoption into the space. At this critical point where we are in the market, knowing how markets are designed to fool, the many, and we have to be very careful because there's
So
moves
hold on,
being made.
what are you suggesting? You're suggesting that, I mean, what are you saying? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I need to explain what's going on with Bitcoin Cash first, but it's just looking like this civil war between Bitcoin Cash has actually spilled.
Path of the dinosaurs. Why are they so important?
I need to let you. It needs to. I need to break it down because this is going to make a lot more sense when I let you know what's been happening
All right.
behind.
Well, before you break it down, if you don't mind, let me. You can break it down if you want to, but I think people are like really just like upset. I don't know if they're upset, but I don't know if they're just really anxious about like the actual price. So, I want to make sure we have enough time to cover that.
Market. You want to do the market first?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'll let you do your thing. You always do your thing. But just in snippets, like why is Bitcoin Cash so relevant to the price of Bitcoin?
Okay, so we've been seeing it's really to do with the players involved. So the Bitcoin ABC and Bitcoin SV, they're backed by major players in the market. They have substantial amount of Bitcoins as well as Bitcoin Cash. And they move heavy. They influence a lot of people in the community and beyond. So Bitcoin ABC, the CEO of Bitmain, J.A.R.V.i.Z, and Roger Ver of Bitcoin.com, and Bitcoin Cash SV, Satoshi Vision, SV is the abbreviation for that, is backed by Craig Wright, who is he previously said he was Satoshi Nakamoto, but he got discredited with that. Now, a lot of the issues with this is the nervousness, the uneasiness, and the fear of being stoked is the perception that it's creating. So what happened was that Bitmain moved about 90,000 mining machines to have control over the hard fork, and then the Bitcoin.com, that's Roger Ver, the mining.
So they were stealing hash power?
Yeah, they redirected hash power from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, but that has nothing. But I mean, as far as the price, I mean, I heard that argument before, but it's like it seems to me it's like the price is already letting us know where Bitcoin is headed, and then so this is what it seems to me, which is my biggest, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my biggest thing with cryptocurrency, to me, it appears that the price. And you can say that about a lot of different markets, but it appears that the price is very clearly telling us where price is going. When price gets into a level of which there may be some indecision amongst crypto enthusiasts, news comes out to say it's the bottom, it's the bottom, it's the bottom, when it's never the bottom. And then when the bottom falls out, they blame it on something. Oh, it's Tether. Oh, it's Bitcoin Cash. But that has nothing to do with price. At the end of the day, big money wants Bitcoin at 3K. Big money wants Bitcoin at 1K. So it's like, what does it matter what the news is? Because there's always an excuse to justify what was already written. And for the last, I don't know, 6 months, a year, I don't know how long I've been on the record getting criticized and whatever. It's like, I've been telling people that Bitcoin was going to bottom. Was the bottom, the 6K wasn't the bottom. It was a joke. It was a joke. Making everyone lose the opportunity of the lifetime. And now Bitcoin is at 5K. And now we're going to do this again. Now people are going to say, well, 4,800 is the bottom, 5,200 is the bottom. And it's not. At the end of the day, like, I know you're in your bag, and I don't want to interrupt you, but it's like, if you just do some simple price action analysis, like this blue line, make that really bold. That's the main uptrend that Bitcoin is in. I mean, this is something broke off again to a mid uptrend into the high, what I would consider the euphoria uptrend, where it's just going up crazy. So here we are now retesting the middle uptrend, and this uptrend is not going to hold, because if it holds, Bitcoin would have to be $13,000 on its way to 23, meeting new highs, and it's just not going to go on that parabolic run. It's just simply not. So when this uptrend breaks, we're going to test this $4,500 range. We might pull back up, range again for a few more months, but then we're going to dump again. And then we're going to have this conversation again. It's going to be like deja vu. I'm just so tired of it, man. It's like we're going to have this conversation again. We're going to be at 4,500. We're going to bounce around $5,000. Everyone's going to say $5,000 is the bottom. If you don't buy now, you're an idiot. And then it's going to drop again to 3,000. And then, honestly, I don't even think this uptrend is going to hold. I honestly think we're going to $1,000 or less. I think we're going to a 3-digit BTC, a 2-digit Ethereum, and a 1-digit Litecoin. So that's all that I think. I'm not trying to be gloom or whatever. I just get so tired of the bull crap. It's like, oh, it's so annoying, bro. It's like all this, like we already have the data in front of us as far as what is probable to happen, not likely to happen. And then when the most probable event turns out to play the way that is anticipated, this BS news. Oh, it's Tether. Oh, it's Bitcoin Cash. Oh, so-and-so got hacked. So-and-so got banned. So-and-so moved a wallet with 1 million Bitcoins to here. It's like, bro, that's so much bull crap. It's like, it's so much bull crap. It's like this market is so heavily manipulated. I just don't see how anyone can see it differently. And that doesn't take away from the intangibles of Bitcoin. It doesn't take away from the revolutionary technology of blockchain. It doesn't take away from Bitcoin eventually becoming a measure of an account. Because a lot of times people will get it confused. They think just because I have things from a technical perspective, I don't appreciate the fundamentals of what Bitcoin can be. And that's the furthest from the truth. I think it can be sitting on top of the blockchain, an asset in which revolutionizes how we exchange value. And to me, Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency in my view. I think Bitcoin is I'm a Bitcoin purist. I think it's the only cryptocurrency. Now, can you make money on altcoins, and will there be cool alt projects? Of course. I think that's cool. But to me, I'm a Bitcoin purist. I think Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency, and I think many of these alts are going to continue to go away. Not to say you can't have great coins, great projects, great tokens. All these things are great. But Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency. It's the truest, in my view, cryptocurrency. It's the only cryptocurrency. So, like, if I get involved in other things, is to make more Bitcoin. I used to feel the same way about Ethereum. I don't feel the same way about Ethereum anymore. Ethereum could very well go the way of the dinosaurs too.
But so I think that's down by 90% over this year.
Yeah, I said. I mean, I'm gonna start posting these screenshots, man. This is crazy. But I said Ethereum was going to $60, and when I said it, I don't know, 6 months ago, I was told that I was an idiot. Now $60 is looking really, really reasonable. So that's all fine. I don't care about any of that. I did my job. I told people what I thought. Some people took it, some people didn't. It is what it is. But what I'm saying is, like, the reason why I just have this disdain for cryptocurrency, the market, is because the people that participate in the market are so emotional. And that's the only thing and that's where I start to call people stupid and getting people upset, because that vocabulary best suits my perception of how I feel about most investors. And it's not, and that's where I reel myself in and dial back in. It's like, you just can't be emotional about it. If it's trend, like, I was in another group and somebody said, oh, Ethereum bottom out and where is it king now and yada, yada, yada. But I didn't understand where this confidence came from. I said, Ethereum is still posting lower highs and lower lows. So I don't understand, like, how are you mocking me when Ethereum is still posting lower highs and lower lows? I just don't get where the confidence is coming from. I want to humor, I want to entertain this conversation. I just don't understand the confidence. So all that I'm saying is like, I love cryptocurrency. I think Bitcoin could revolutionize how we exchange value. I can't speak for the rest of these altcoins. I think blockchain technology, which has been around for a long time, is huge, it's instrumental, particularly exchanging payments, like as a mean for payments. So even though I don't like Ripple, Ripple definitely has a strong argument as being a top cryptocurrency for a while. And then supply chain management. I think, payment, supply chain management, I think that's blockchain in its essence. So, but at the same time, we don't need $100,000 Bitcoin in order to exchange value. We don't need a $10 Ripple in order to exchange value. So the price of it is different. Just because I think the price is going down doesn't mean I think the project is bad. I mean, Bitcoin is just as valuable to me now as it was in 2017, as it was in 2001 or 2002, whenever it started. When did it start? 2006 or whatever. So like, the price is just the price. That doesn't mean that the intrinsic value, the intrinsic method of exchanging value has changed. It doesn't matter. That's just the USD evaluation of it. So that's where we separate. It's like if you're a blockchain enthusiast and purist or whatever, it's like, that's cool. Like, Bitcoin should be just as exciting to you today as it was, December of last year, as it was whenever. If you're really trying to exchange value outside of the USD, if that's what you're trying to do, or have a non-censored method of communication, of exchanging value, etc., then the price shouldn't matter to you as much. But what we're finding out throughout this bear market is that most people really didn't care about crypto. They just came in for the capital gains, and that didn't happen. So that's a different conversation. But what I'm saying is it's just, guys, just trust what you see, not what you hear. Trust what you see, not what you think. Trust what you see, not what you hope. If Bitcoin is downtrending, it's downtrending. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, do you want us to come here and tell you that it's going to be, Bakkt is coming out, and, the New York Stock Exchange and Goldman Sachs? Like, all that is great. But if it doesn't change the downtrend, what does it matter? What does it matter? Like, what are we even talking about right now? What does it matter? So just trust what you see. If it uptrends, and I said this a million times. I said, hey, guys, if you bought Bitcoin at $5,800, I said, if you bought Bitcoin at $5,800, you beat me to a better price in Bitcoin, because I wouldn't be long-term looking to buy Bitcoin until we got above 7,500. 58 is less than 7,500. So guess what? You would have got a better price. But the reason why I didn't get involved is because it still gave me lower highs every time. And I'm okay with getting in late if I know I have an opportunity in really going up. So for the people that said, hey, well, I bought it at $5,800 and I'm a genius and I'm holding, well, where are we now? We're at $5,000, $5,200. We just touched this uptrend. So now we're going to bounce off this uptrend, and I kid you not, as I know the sun will rise tomorrow, we're in this little this little up slide right here. We'll bounce up a little bit, wiggle around a little bit, and we're going to break this uptrend, more likely than not. But as long as we stay above $5,000, everyone's going to say 5,000 is the bottom. Bye. But I'm not, because I need to see Bitcoin above $6,500 now. I need to see it. For me to long-term buy Bitcoin, to even consider it, I need to see Bitcoin above $6,500, $6,600 right now. Closing. That's the only way that would change my mind. So if you bought Bitcoin at 5,000, you beat me. No problem. But you also bought Bitcoin at 10,000, at 15,000, at 13,000. You bought it every time you saw it drop a little, because you believe and hope that Bitcoin is going to do the impossible, in which it practically did in 2017. So sometimes, guys, you got to know when to hang it up. Like, 2017 was 2017. This is 2018. What can we do in 2018? How effective can we be? And how smart can we be? So, that's all I can say. I'm not going to speak to the Bitcoin or the holder mentality and all that stuff, because all that is cool. That's great. Dollar cost averaging in, that's great. I have no qualms with that. Buy what you believe in. If you love crypto and you think it's going to be 50,000, 100,000 in a year, 2 years, do your thing. I don't give financial advice. Whatever you want to do, rock out. All that I'm saying is, all that I'm offering is that Bitcoin has not uptrend all this year. Going from lower, crashed. Now we're going to wiggle up a little bit. Everyone's going to say, oh, this is the bottom. We're back. And then we're going to crash again. So that's all I'm saying. I'm done. Do your thing, Azzy.
I just want to make sure that they can hear Anita and Kenya, no volume, can't hear. So I literally just posted now in the group. I just want to make sure that they can hear both of us. So do type in and let us know if you can hear or not. So you can hear me though, right?
I can hear you great, but I don't know if anyone can hear me.
Okay, that's what I'm okay. I will continue, but do let me know what the replies are. Okay,
why would you let me just keep talking if nobody can hear me? Dang, what type of friend are you?
No, I just saw the comments now. That's why. Okay, so yeah, and Anita says okay, okay now, and yes, I can hear. Says Joe and Jean, thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah, well, long story short, all I was saying, guys, just trust what you see. Bitcoin's still on the downtrend. I think we're going down to, we already hit 5K. I think 3K is next. And then I think we'll see capitulation down at $1,000. So my final resting place for Bitcoin is really like $600 to $800. That's where I think we're ultimately going. And I think 2019 could be an extremely bearish year for crypto. And I think a lot of these altcoins are not coming back, period. Go ahead, do your thing.
Okay, cool. So yeah, so with J.A.R.V.i.Z, he basically gave out an ultimatum saying, I have no intention to start a hash war with Craig Wright. Because if I do, by relocating hash power from BTC mining to Bitcoin Cash, a BTC price will dump below yearly support. It may even breach $5,000. But since Craig Wright is relentless, I'm all in, fight till the death. I'm just thinking, is this a big distraction from something else that we're not seeing, we're not anticipating? Because you have to also read between the lines. And there has been so much speculation as to what's going to happen after the hard forks. And it doesn't look good for Satoshi Vision, for Craig's right now, because of the lack of support it has from the community. However, there's also been word, within the last few days as well, we have been seeing Ripple buck the trend, and it has also been in regards to some developments coming out with that.
Ripple's about to crash.
Yeah, okay. There's some advocating that there, and this, again, we don't know to what extent, but some have been apparently liquidating some of their Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin and moving to Ripple as well. So, but there is deep concerns right now in regards to the prolonged bear market, and we're talking, some have estimated it may be months, if not years. And I know you called it, Aking, from before, and people were calling you all sorts of things. I know you had hate mail in your inbox as well. But it is an absolute, in terms of the timing where we are in the market, despite the developments, there is a lot of pessimism at the moment, which is somewhat expected. But that is a concern, because with the idea of it being decentralized, the image of having these powerful players going back and forth, it just doesn't go at all. So, it really, we have to look at the bigger, even if, what's his name, J.A.R.V.i.Z and Roger Ver ends up winning the Bitcoin Cash battle, you have to look at the bigger picture. There are many, is it true? We'll see if there's going to be many losers in that case. I mean, the collateral damage. So again, on top of it being a bear market, to compound matters worse, and have the bad reputation for cryptos. Some people calling it a scam, some people calling it a bubble, and so on. This just compounds it even further, because it is about perceptions in this market, as well as actions that are. So we're going to have to see what moving over the next few weeks and months. It will be critical. And another thing that, in terms of Ripple as well, and we know that there's been lawsuits against it. There's been arguments said that even though it's regulated by the founding company Ripple, they say it isn't centralized, but there is, to some degree, some sort of control, some sort of influence. It may not be direct control, but there would be some influence, and you just have to look at the people, the type of stakeholders on board collaborating with Ripple, financial institutions, banks, and it has been increasing the partnerships. It has been showing efficiencies in terms of cross-border payments, and some people have been advocating in this particular time where we are in the market as a better investment, because there is a lot of hype that is surrounding Ripple with what they're intending to do with the decentralized products with X-Rapid, X-Current, and X-Via. But here's the thing though, we've got to see this from a bigger picture, from point of view of how these power players in the market, in the crypto space, are moving, and how institutional investors are also positioning themselves, because obviously we know a lot of the transactions have been over the counter, and there is a lot of price manipulation. We know that has been the case for some time. But, with Ripple now being in second spot, and in fact widening its position, compounded by Ethereum's weakness as well, has been down by almost 90% since the start of the year. This is a really shaky time in regards to investment. But we're going to have to see. I mean, this could take weeks, if not months, to see out the full scale of it. And if it does look to be in the number of years before we see any sort of reversal, then that's going to definitely lead to sorting out the weak from the strong hands. We're going to see a lot of projects that are not providing value, not providing real world use case. They're going to be shaken out as well. A lot of scams will be shaken out as well. Also, to compound that, there were reports, sales forecasts were weak from chip makers such as NVIDIA as well. And this is due to the loss of demand from the problems that the crypto mining firms as well, they're getting less orders, and so that has also compounded some issues with the perceptions in investors' eyes that this market is shaky at the moment. And if you remember, when it was at some point in the last 2 years, there were massive shortages, and this was to do with the spike in demand from miners, from amateurs as well as professional. And so the chip makers decided to oversupply, thinking that this is a market that will continue. They took a long-term approach with this as well, and they calculated and forecasted that there was going to be more than enough demand. But what's happened is they didn't see the prolonged bear market, and they actually have an oversupply of parts. So that has also affected the situation as well. And we're just going to have to see. We've had some players, I know you have also mentioned this, but BitMEX, Arthur Hayes, although I know he has different motives, he has mentioned that $5,000 Bitcoin was a flaw for him as well.
He's a liar. He's a liar. Am I allowed to say he's a liar without getting in trouble? These guys are liars, bro.
I know they've got motives behind what they're saying.
Lie. They get on camera and lie. If you wanna, man, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh no, continue.
No. Go ahead. I'm just. I haven't had my prune juice this morning. I'm an old man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Your prune juice.
Let me get my prune juice and take a little 15-minute nap. I'll feel better. Go ahead.
No, do you know what? I have to give you some credit. I know you have, like, when the going was good, when the market was doing well, or when we saw, the temporary run up to, what was it, 10,000? And there was a hype at that time, and you were still calling, you were still calling surprise. You were still saying it was going to go to 4,000. Do you remember? You even made a post about that. I think do you remember?
Do you remember when it was 10,000? I told everybody I was going to 20,000. That was a good call. And then so I mean, I know. I mean, I don't care which way. I mean, I do care which way Bitcoin goes, but it's not like I want it to drop. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not that important to me. It's just what's happening. I'm just seeing it for what it is. So, yeah, I bounced back and forth. First, I was like 5K, 3K, 1K, and then I was like 6K, 4K, 2K, and I still struggle with it. But I see some really good arguments for 2K. I see some really good arguments for 3K, but I see a really good argument for like $600, $800, and I like that argument a lot, actually. So it's tough, It's tough to forecast that far away, but anywhere from 3K to 1K, 1K ish, it's all within the same range for me, I guess. But I like 5K, 3K, and 1K. It's kind of catchy.
I'm just reading some of the comments. They were saying King was right. I see that you posted your comments as well. With you 100%. Wow, 2020 King, not before my brother, says Adrian. Great information. You're awesome. Need to get a good, yeah. So this is crazy. I know people have been throwing all sorts of predictions out there to make the case for or either bullish and bearish, but we have been seeing, of course, with the price speaking for itself, despite the developments being built right now, this prolonged bear market sees no signs, at least in the very near future, of it recovering. But what's funny is that researchers, they found that Bitcoin prices tend to increase after a surge in Google searches for the word Bitcoin and Twitter posts. And they also saw, obviously,
that's not true. Those are lagging indicators. That's not true. People are just lying. It's like this whole thing with in the UK. I said I was talking to Charles like 3 months ago, and I told him that the pound was going to fall like 3 months ago. I'm gonna pull up that conversation. I told him that the pound was going to fall. I had no idea about the drama going on over there that you know about. I mean, it's all just manipulation. It's all just manipulation. It's the price. Price precedes the news. Price lets you know what big money institutional players are actually going to do, and the news is for us to satisfy our little feelings. So it's like, I don't know, whatever you say.
Okay. Okay. So There's so much to watch, and we know. I mean, this has been said so many times, but with the next, I guess the what do you call it? The next day on the calendar, the next event on the calendar, the launch of ICE, the Starbucks and Microsoft backed, and Fidelity entering the market. I think it's December the 12th for backed, and for Fidelity's early next year. So it's interesting to see how this plays in, because we have been seeing these developments. Just to speak with you just for a second here, despite the developments, despite the what do you call it, advances that we're seeing. Again, we keep talking about infrastructure and custody solutions and so on, and regulations being created. The what do you call it, the G20 coming to some sort of agreement by next year, and to start implementing that somehow. But we're also seeing SEC are not waiting for that to happen. Other regulators are not waiting; they're cracking down now, and this is altogether the way it's creating this perfect storm. And how we're seeing this bear market being prolonged by certain. I know you said the information is already priced in, but it's interesting to see how hodlers feel right now, how people are shaken out of the market at different stages, and we still haven't seen the worst of the worst yet to come.
When you say a holder's getting shaken out the market, what do you mean?
No, to see how they feel, hodlers, because I'm not going to get into an argument now about it, but the mentality where people are right now. So if they're hodlers, are they still holding, or have they given up and liquidated their positions? Have the short-term traders, have they come in and gone out of the market? Like, it's interesting to see how where we are right now in the market, having gone to highs of 20,000.
So guys, are y'all holding? Are y'all buying more? Because I mean, that's a good question. I really don't know. Like, do you know if like the general public? I mean, obviously with people selling, it's showing that a lot of people are selling. But as far as this group, like, are you guys holding? Do you guys not care? Are you buying more? Like, what are you guys doing? Or what's your plan? You just gonna sit it out, buy some more crypto, particularly Bitcoin? I mean, what are you guys doing? Let's ask them. Let's find out. I'm curious. I really don't have the answer to that.
Yeah. So that's what's interesting, is that depending what your intentions and motives are coming into this space, news like this, movements like this in the price is not going to worry you or affect you if you, for example, are a long-term holder. Or some people actually get excited with these developments. But it's interesting to see, like, for example, with Ethereum, even the founder saying that he was going to step down. There's been a lot of speculation with the timing of his announcement as well. When he says step down, meaning he's still going to be involved in the background, helping to move Ethereum to a higher place. But the fact that he was, it's interesting how certain announcements and developments are coming in at a time where we're seeing price collapse in terms of the hard floor for Bitcoin. And
I just hate that terminology, hard floor. The only people that believe in hard floors are oh my God, I just hate that. Like it's the terminology that we're sold as retail investors. Like, do you think institutional investors, like, come on, who determined where the hard floor was? Like, who made that up? Like, who made up this hard floor? Like, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know. I know you've been like this since the beginning of this year, right? It's been crazy, and you have been vilified for that. But it's just crazy. It's just the way human psychology works, I guess.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
But okay, moving on. I thought this was amazing. this, I know with all the craziness going on right now, people may not want to hear certain developments, but I got to say this because this will affect our community worldwide. African Americans in particular, I think this is a brilliant idea, but I'll speak on it first. So there's, I don't know if you've heard of an app called Bail Block. So basically, Bail Block lets users donate their computer memory towards mining Monero, and it donates the funds to an immigration bail fund. It's a non-for-profit organization, so they contribute money towards a bond for people being held by, right now it's by ICE in Connecticut, so the Immigration Customs Enforcement. And imagine a new app that mines crypto using the funds to help pay bail for individuals for ICE. But this was also tested in Queens and the Bronx in New York City via the Bronx Freedom Fund as well. And actually, there was another version that was an earlier version that was launched last year, but it was just to help with the helping contribute money towards the bond of people in Queens. But it got relaunched by a group of people called under the name J.A.R.V.i.Z Inquiry. So you have technologists, artists, writers, researchers coming together to create ways where they can fight the status quo. So it's part of there's also another collective and another project called the New Inquiry, and it's an online political and cultural magazine. Now this coalition, they're advocating for social and political change. So what they did, which was really clever, each time, I'll give you one example. So the police, they were accused of targeting low income, racially diverse areas, because the police use these hotspot maps to target and actually, go in there and try and, I don't know how to say it, to forecast where they think these crimes will happen. So in a response to that, they came out with an app that highlighted white-collar crime hotspots in response to the police hotspots maps that targeted, let's just put it bluntly, African Americans, Latino Americans, and other so-called ethnic minorities. So now, with Bail Block in particular, the fact that they use a Monero because it's mined on everyday, normal computers. So using everyday computers, you're able to mine Monero, and they're using that. And as you know, with Monero being a privacy coin, you have advantages of that as well. But anyway, they came together. So the app, the New Inquiry, the Bronx Freedom Fund, and Immigration Bail Fund, they're going to make it possible, hopefully, for lower income individuals and ethnic. Mostly, this will affect ethnic people from ethnic minorities to stay out of jail while they await their trial. Now, as we don't even need to get into this topic because we know the politics of this, but we know the idea of innocent till proven guilty does not apply to our people, unfortunately, in the majority of the cases. And so, and with the, archaic legal system, this discriminatory aspects of it as well, people have to wait years before going into a trial. And even a couple of nights, even one night in jail can cause someone to lose their job, their housing, even, custody of their children. So the fact that they're coming together and they're doing like for like, so they said that they were going to match amounts in US dollars that Monero mined between November the 15th and December the 15th this year. And the fact that they're coming together, this is a pushback on ICE and some of the Trump's administration's immigration policies, targeting Hispanics, Latinos in particular, but also other. If you remember, he had this whole controversy calling Haiti and other African countries, and I think it was one of the other Latino countries as well. What do you call it? Excuse my language. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but S-hole. Maybe I shouldn't say that. You know what I mean?
Say it. Speak your mind, Asmeret. Don't be censored. Say it with your chest.
What do you say? Country.
What?
I'm quoting, quote unquote. I'm saying Trump had said shithole countries.
Say it in the back. They can't hear you in the back.
So anyway.
Say it with your chest.
Listen here. So anyway, the Bail Block app, that is a game changer. If this comes to light, if this actually gets scaled up and gets applied to different, not just in the US but worldwide, this is incredible. I mean, I know where we are in the market, but this is the potential. Can you imagine if you donate your crypto to help bail out, in what we will consider, it depends case by case, obviously, but if we're going ahead and helping innocent people being bailed out so they could spend more time with their children, with their families, awaiting trial, because some people have been put up on bogus charges. There's been case after case. Apparently Rikers Island jail is going to get closed down as well because of the controversies surrounding the abuses that happened there, and so on. There's so many tragic cases that people have died awaiting trials. People have got ill awaiting trials. So many issues, and it's prevalent not just in our community but other minorities that have been targeted as well. So this is a clever way, this is a very smart way to get back at the status quo, because a lot of the narrative, I'm sure you can speak on this because you live it, you're there, you can tell me, but in the UK ourselves, we see that we do get affected by discrimination, the disproportionate stop and searches, the custody, people dying in custody, that's also affecting our brothers and sisters here as well. And if this gets expanded because of the nature of cryptos, it's a worldwide movement. This is potentially a game changer where bail bonds, where allowing our brothers and sisters to go back home and await their trials while they're at home and have some sort of normalcy and some sort of stability, allow that stability to continue in our community. That is potentially a game changer. So I wanted to mention that because this is not just this one-time thing. There has been other companies working on this. In fact, that we're seeing a trend develop where even Salesforce, Microsoft, Amazon, that you have workers literally saying to their bosses, saying, you guys better take some leadership on this. You better cut ties with ICE and Customs and Border Protection to protest the Trump's administration family separation policy at the border. You better protest the ridiculous immoral profits being made on bail bonds and incarceration.
So what do you think about, so how do you feel about Trump's immigration policy in regards to the border? Like, what's your thoughts on that? As a person, I'm asking your perspective as someone that's outside of the country. Like, how do you feel about that?
The nation, this is what really stumps me. And the hypocrisy of it. The nation was built on immigration. The nation was built.
Take aside. We, America was, let's just say, how can we keep this politically somewhat sensitive? That people died and stole and pillaged. So take all of that aside. How do you feel about immigration as I don't know if we call you a foreigner or just someone outside of the United States? Like, when y'all are hearing about Trump's immigration policy, like, how do you feel about it?
We're seeing it as an act of fear, as an act of hypocrisy, as a way to mitigate the real life changes happening on the ground, on the demographic level, and the potentially political shift in power happening on the. But from outside here, the way it's been reported, the way we are absorbing information, and the way we're collaborating with our partners, with our brothers and sisters overseas, we are disgusted, frankly speaking. We are horrified. We are absolutely like that sick feeling in the pit of your stomach. We feel like revulsed. We really truly feel repulsed with what's going on.
But see, here's my thing. Here's my thing, because I kind of thought that might have been your view, because I have a lot of friends from different parts of the world, and they have similar views. But see, my thing is that how would you respond? Better yet, let me not even ask you. Like, there's an argument. One is that Hispanics, they don't really stand with Black people, and Black people, we make everyone else's issues our issues, and nobody makes our issues their issues. So we have this tendency and a propensity to kind of like take on other fights and other issues. Like, case in point, there was when there was that big travel ban, right? So I'm Muslim. So there was this big travel ban. So I had all these Muslim guys that hit me up, say, "Hey, Yusuf, we need you to sit in at this airport." I say, I could kiss my Black, you know what? Because at the end of the day, as much as I love all my brothers and sisters in the religion, they don't show up when Michael Brown's getting shot. They don't show up when Sandra Brand is getting killed. And that's a criticism that I have for them. So don't call me. Don't call me. Like, we could break bread and, eat together, but don't call me, though. But don't call me when it comes to these issues that are specific to a religious statute, when my Black brothers and sisters are being discriminated, when they're being abused or being shot in the streets. Y'all not standing with me. So fam, y'all can kill that. So the same thing with the immigration. So for one, I think there's this issue where we love to fight everyone else's fights, and we love to allow other groups, particularly this white liberal feminist group, to kind of trick us into joining their efforts. And I had this conversation with this lady. She has this brand where she sells her products, and part of doing that, she drives emotions from women. She talks bad about men, drives emotions from women, get women responding, and then she inserts her product. So she really utilizes the broken historical context that Black families have endured in order to drive reaction and to insert her products. And she does well doing that. So I had a conversation with her on one of her posts, because I can't respond to everything, and I see so much BS online, and I have things to do. But I seen something that she posted in which she really was talking disparaging about Black men. I said something about it, and then like this, a white woman, I love all my people, I love everybody, but a white woman came and she had her opinions about what my opinions were. But long story short is that I explained to her that at the end of the day, that just because she has a vagina, it doesn't make her closer to my Black queens and sisters than she. Just because you have a vagina and my Black sister has a vagina, y'all are not more alike. Don't ever get that messed up for a second. And amongst friends, I would use more colorful words, but don't think just for a second, because you have a vagina and my sister has a vagina, that y'all are more alike, or y'all share the same plights, or y'all share the same struggles. You got me messed up, bro. You got me messed up. So I have to make that very, very clear. We're fighting and we're taking up arms for issues that don't concern us, that don't benefit us. When the opportunities turned around, they're not there for us, first and foremost. And then secondly, a lot of Hispanics, and being a person that lives in Texas, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. There's this misnomer that Hispanics are only working like underpaid jobs and jobs that nobody wants, and they're picking avocados for $2 an hour. That's not true. Hispanics in all around, like not everyone, but there's plenty of Hispanics that have businesses, trucking companies, roofing companies, gardening companies, and they're doing really, really well. And a lot of these occupations, a lot of these businesses are jobs that particularly went to Black people at one time before. So immigration, as contrary or backwards as it is, Black people, we have to be a little bit smarter. It's like we're fighting for people that don't fight for us to take jobs and opportunities that we once had. We got to get in tune. like how my guy Yada, I like to say, we got to get in tune, because this right here, it ain't flying for me. So Trump definitely isn't the type of character that I would want my children to look up to. He says things that are repulsive, that are offensive, to say the very, very least. To say that he energizes racism and sexism is beyond fair at the very, very least, even if you don't think he's a racist or a sexist. These are all fair criticisms, but he's not the worst I've seen in Washington. I mean, I've seen much, much worse being done by people that smiled and, danced to our songs and put hot sauce in their bags. So I just wanted to wake up. That's all. But anyway, I'm done.
You make some excellent points, and this is why you're the one in the States. You have that on the ground perspective. That's invaluable. And then but I'm telling you, from the international perspective, by and large, what's been going on with the family separation policies, the outwardly dog whistle aspect of it as well, and speaking to his base in a way that's coded, and a lot of the things you mentioned, though, how this affects the Black community with the African Americans and also worldwide indirectly as well. This is something which, if you look at it from a human level, the idea of your daughter or your son being separated from you, thinking that you're claiming asylum, and you're thinking at the very least we're going to be turned away. You would not. I'm not going to be speaking for families and parents, because I have never been in a situation. My mother, in fact, my father had sent us from Saudi to London to get away from the Gulf War. So we came into this country, but the UK accepted us. We didn't have to go through all of the craziness that these current travelers are going through in order walking thousands of miles and so on. We literally flew in and gave our hand, and this is something as a previous how do I say, as a refugee, or however way you want to term it, I have more compassion and empathy and understanding from that aspect and from the international aspect. Seeing my mother raise me and my two sisters without a father for 8 years, that colors my experience. But so when I hear of stories, even if it's got nothing to do with the African American community or Africans or Black people in general, when I hear stories at the human level of a child, a defenseless child, being separated from the world that they knew, and even worse, not just being put in detention centers, but apparently being forced into adoption, actually being sent to an American family. These sort of real world cases happening and affecting that child.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't care about any of that stuff, to be honest. I know that sounds savage, but I mean, like, we've been through 400 years of
I'm aware of that.
What are we talking about? Like, my great grandparents and their parents, we're talking about this is like beyond like the images and the pictures I could paint as far as the things that we've been through. So like
Yes,
now we want to play on the
separation.
heartstrings and get us all involved in things that doesn't involve us. So there's somebody for everybody. It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. All I'm saying is that if we're going to work together, we're going to work together. If we're not, we're not. Historically, we're all that we have. And I'm going to continue to push the narrative of unity amongst us, continue to push the narrative of Black men, Black women loving each other, working together, and continue to push the narrative of never letting outsiders make us think they have more in common or they're more down with the things that we struggle with, because all these things distract, take away, and weaken us and weaken our progress. So yeah, I mean, I want all babies to be happy and stuff like that, but I'm more concerned about my babies in Africa. I'm more concerned about my babies in Trinidad and Guyana, and Ghana. I'm more concerned about those babies. Those are the babies I'm worried about. Like let's go to Ethiopia, let's go to Somalia. I'm worried about those babies. Can we focus on those babies? That's what I'm focused on.
I say yes. And I just, from what I'm seeing from the international perspective, we're seeing and observing that this sort of behavior is not conducive. It's not helpful at all. But having said that, if we, look at the most important aspect of our journey, like me, not just both of us, but everyone else in this community, we have to focus our energy and minds on what we need to do, what our mission is at hand, and not get distracted by a lot of the news and tragedies out there. But still, I have a heart. I still will feel some type of way. I still will, like, once
fam, pull up, fam. We can hit up Somalia, and if you have your heart, let your heart emotions run wild over there. Like there's so much love. You want to pour your heart out somewhere, like I can give you 50 places with Black people, Black children where you can pour your love to. Yeah. Like these images they try to show you is for those purposes only. It's like we just can't get caught up in those things, because if every time you feel sad for anyone outside of our race, let me just give you a history lesson. Let's revisit what our family has gone through: getting lynched, getting murdered, being forced to have sex with each other, incest, making our skin into purses. Like the stuff, like even now, somebody was sending me some stuff like, hey, did you know they used to do this to us? I'm like, the wild creativity of the savage and the ruthlessness of which our people was subjected to. It's like, what type of freak are you to do any, like the stuff that we endured, I wouldn't think to do to a plant or an animal. It's like, what type of demon are you to do these type of things? So no, man, I'm really trying to be better, not use vulgar language. I'm trying so hard.
I know.
But,
you know what? We
forget everything that isn't Black. We have enough people that want to assimilate. So we need to get as many people that we need that want to push our initiatives and push our cause and push our interests. Because we have enough jigaboos and tap dancers that will do anything to assimilate with master. We have enough of that. So I'm never going to be on that side. I don't care if you say, hey, Yusuf, look at all these people getting shot. Like, are they Black? Hey, hey, I'm going to give you the same love, the same energy you give me and my people. Straight up, just like that. If you don't like it, fight
me. And on that note, well said. And on that note, we are out of time. But yeah, it's been crazy, absolutely crazy. From what we hear and what we're seeing. But I understand that this is nothing new compared to 400 years of oppression. But certainly from the international perspectives, we do not respect Trump. We did not respect his administration or like anything regarding especially with the family separation policy. That was a crazy thing we just couldn't believe. We were dumbfounded here. But you're absolutely right in respect to African Americans and Africans worldwide throughout the diaspora. Our energy and our minds and hearts is best concentrated on helping our movement, our situation. That's something that we really need to focus on.
That's right.
So I completely agree. I'm 100 on that. 100% on that. So with that being said, any final words?
Peace, love. Oh, I want to tell everybody. Greet a black person today. Say hello to a black person today. Smile at a black person today. Start a random conversation with a black person today. Give a random black person a compliment today. Hey, nice shirt. Hey, like that beard. Hey, sis, looking sharp. That's it. Spread the love. I'm out. Peace.
Lovely. Likewise. I'm out.